I'm Dr. Dina Friedman. I'm a clinical specialty is working with caregivers of special needs children / adults. I'm assuming most of you are parents, right? Yes. Okay. Parents are just really parents. Okay. Grandparents and grandparents. Okay. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Well, I'm for kid as an adult or a kid, so I don't have to like say it every single time. Is that okay? Okay. Just in this area. And I am not a Jacobson expert. I've just learned about it, but I do specialize in working with them. And I started out with a general practice, and then I had my daughter, and as my first daughter, and actually behavior, she does not have Jacobson syndrome, but she had behavioral issues, developmental issues, emotional issues. Yeah. And it was hard. In fact, I think it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And just all of you being here, it shows helping your kids. And in this particular part of the conference, you're actually showing that you want to take care of yourselves too. So I'm very happy about that. Selves on hold for years or sometimes their whole lives. And it can lead to a lot of, depression and anxiety, divorce. Also prioritize yourself. I also want to say that because I am a mom and also a psychologist, I'm going to be very open about my story because I want grants. And if you have any specific questions about me, my practice, I'm an open book. So, I mean, I don't know who's going to be viewing this. What I found was that, well, there's so many resources for the kids. And even if they're not specific resources for the kids, but there really isn't much at all for the adults, for the caretakers. And as I said, the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life. Never loved anybody so much, never had to go through seeing a person. And I was, I was trying to find help for myself, and I couldn't find anybody because there's therapists and stuff like that, special needs child, because it's so specific. And I just felt like I wanted someone to understand. So anyway, I became that person. And I don't know, maybe there's others out there, but I don't know where they are to me. And I'm really going to encourage you with whatever you've been through in terms of struggles and pain and everything. If you can ever use it to help others, it is Facebook or, volunteering or changing your career or developing a career. It is so therapeutic. I mean, when I'm working, and especially when I don't feel like, not that my other patients I'm not present with, but it's just a passion. So I problems, and it's just, so use it. I turned all of that emotion into something positive, and that was very helpful for myself, and hopefully I'm going to hammer into you today is that you all need to know that you should have quality of life. I don't care what the needs are. Everybody should have quality of life. And sometimes it's really, really hard. And sometimes it comes about researching what you could do for your child, and it takes over. And then, your energy is so dedicated to that. Then been there, it's hard. So I want to emphasize and say that nothing that I said, I don't think, but I think that you all need to know that your lives and your well-being are just as important as your child's. And you just, you may have to be creative. It may not be easy. And we'll talk more about this, but please, if you walk away with nothing else. So my 3 reasons why you need to find balance are: 1, because your lives are harder than other people. You do more and you worry more, and if anyone deserves it, you deserve it. So please know that. I mean, you've heard it. You can't help anybody else until you've helped yourself. I mean, you have to put the oxygen mask on, etc. Source to your child. You're going to respond differently. You're going to, if you put fuel in your tank, you're less likely to react and more likely. We're all guilty of it. We've all had those moments, but we just want to have less. And I think we just want more positive moments. The 3rd reason, and I'm sure there's many more, is that your intuition is the best when you're calm. So if sometimes I would think to myself, if I worry and just think about, but really the best answers have come from when I was centered and calm. And And that is not only for you, your child, if you have friends, it's just, all of it just becomes clearer when you're calm. So, don't feel like you need to dedicate every moment of your time to that. Of course, you're here. I mean, you're troopers. I respect people so much that just, want to learn everything. But please find that later. Hopefully we'll have time. I think we do. It's just one technique you can use to find peace, but there's so much work for you. There's breathing and relaxation techniques and all meditation. If this works for you, great, run with it. If it doesn't, find something, but get that peace for yourself. Do any of you have like guilt when you're taking care of yourselves?
Yes. Taking care of yourself, Suzanne.
Yeah. So, guilt is one. There's a feeling of, if my kid is not okay, I cannot be okay. And part of it is guilt, and part of it is that, no, I need to be work. So yes, to an extent that's true, but I really want you to get away from that and to recognize that, but it's also your responsibility to take care of yourself. And if you could take guilt out of the equation, everything I'm talking about will come easier. So, okay, to take care of myself, it's safe. And it's important and it's critical. I think mantras to really, obviously I can relate to this feeling. Sometimes if you don't allow yourself to self-regulate, whatever the roller coaster possibly for the rest of your life. Again, I'm not a Jacobson's expert, but I do know that there's health issues. I do know that there's of this with my daughter, and it's going to be a roller coaster and you're not in control. Did you just raise your hand? Sorry. Okay. I don't want you to be in a roller coaster that you have no control over. You have to take control. You have to take control of your own life. You have to find ways to give yourself quality of life. If anyone wants to come to the breakout techniques, I'm talking in general now, but be creative, and prioritize. I've said that before, but I'm going to say it like 20 more times. Another thing that I have found to be incredibly helpful is developing your circle. I don't know, do all of you know each other, or none of you know each other?
I know.
Okay, well, I feel like saying turn around, get people who understand, or find it later, find someone you connect with, or maybe your kids are at similar levels or groups, but you want that personal person that you can text. Then maybe all you want to say is, ah! And the person's like, yeah, no, because feeling understood is such a basic human need. And we don't, when we talk to our friends who are, worried about their kid didn't get to even relate. So find people who can relate specifically to Jacobson syndrome, but you're all far away. So who also have kids with special needs, because I have had this group, and I don't know that I could have lived without it. It's just, it happened through preschools and things like that. And we all have different journeys, but we live really close. Coffee or wine or whatever it is, we'll get together. And sometimes we talk about our kids, sometimes we don't. And it's are out there. You probably know that because there's so much attention given to special needs right now, mostly because of autism, other kinds of special needs. But I think that community is probably the one that has the most resources, and take advantage. I could relate to a lot of the issues, and they'll say, well, come on in. People are welcoming when it comes to. Oh, I just wanted to say, when I said to share numbers, just a thought, but how in AA, everybody has a sponsor. Why can't we be each other's sponsors, where we can, in the middle of the night, have a special ring and that person will be there for us, or whatever it is, because feel like keep in touch with each other, keep your Facebook groups or whatever you're doing too, but get it more personal if you can. Okay, this one's a toughie. How many of you? Okay, well, it's good because, we have an identity outside of mom, right? Or dad, or it's important to develop an identity outside of yourself, outside of your situation, if you can. I can't reinforce this enough. Again, if it's a job, it's hobby, great. I don't care what it is. If it's 1 hour a week, great. If it's 40, fantastic. But develop something for your to do occasionally, but something that's built into your week, and you know that you're going to have that opportunity, and it's going to just make you feel like you're going to love whatever it is so much, and you're just going to be entrenched in the activity. And it's like, again, filling up your to others as well as yourself. So I know it's hard, but whatever, okay, an hour, anything, find something. And then there's, of course, your other relationships. This more than anything, just how it impacts other relationships, whether it's a spouse, a sibling, friendships, family, other family members. It can, and honestly, I mean, in some ways it can be positive because it helps you to really be aware of which relationships are most important in your life. But when the sibling or whatever it is, your spouse, when you find those, nurture those, because those are so important for you to have. Date night is hard. I mean, does anybody do date night?
Occasionally.
Okay. I know that it's hard, but if you can find a caretaker and get out, and if you can't, if you can find a room or go outside your house and have a picnic or anything where your kid is sleeping, just nurture that. That is, I mean, that the connection can really just, you could turn around at some point and be like, who is this person? So, and then the other thing is the sibling. So for those of you who have typically developing siblings, I mean, that's my daughter is intense and needs a lot, and her sister does not. And I have to always be aware that, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if you can divide and conquer and like do something with the one sibling, and I'm talking about making a plan for yourselves. I'm not talking about sporadically when you can. I'm talking about really prioritizing this and making a plan for yourself. Are like hiding in a bathroom when they call me, okay? Because they need to talk to, and that's the only way to do it. Of course, find a way. Okay, so has anyone heard of essentialism? Probably not. Not doing a lot of reading in the last few years. Okay, it's a very simple concept, and you can feel free to look it up, but it's basically prioritizing what is essential in your life. And but I promise you that if you take the time to do this, that you will have more time for other things, because this is the way I see it. We're in the trench of, what's the word, autopilot. Just, we're not thinking about how to structure our lives. We're not, I mean, of course, sometimes we are, but sometimes we get caught up in things that really aren't essential for us. And I'm just going to, since I can't think of a great one, I'm going to give you kind of a dumb example, but let's just say you're worried about, sending out just about it, because it's another thing you have to do on all this. If you have a list of what's really essential, you may just have, whether it's on your phone or in your mind, and you may just be able to say, is this real example? But hopefully you guys have some good ones for me later. But because for me, I've certainly given up on holiday cards and anything. There are a lot of things where it's just like, is this really important? Does this really matter? Is this really where I want to put my focus? And if you have those guys, like you have this roadmap, and you could be like, nah, oh, I have a good example. I just kind of said it before. Okay. I have decided now I cannot control that all of the time because I have things to be worried about. But on my list, I have realized that a lot of it is just a waste of energy. It's not helping. It's not your greatest insight when you're anxious. Of course, we need to worry. We're parents, we worry. But I am saying to try to do, looking at, these are my morals, these are my values, this is what's most important to me. And you've taken that half hour, the hour to write that list out. you can kind of say, no, I'm not going to worry. I'm easy to let go of anxiety. And it helps to have something to take you out of it. There's really not much value in it. It has its place, but the way that we worry, it's, you could be meditating and having better results. So the essentialism is very individual and it's very specific to your personal values. But please take the time to do it individually. And just really think about like, what were my values like before? What do I believe in? What is most important to me? Stuff go. Okay. So hopefully I've convinced you to bring a little more peace and calm into your life and to nurture your relationships and all of that. Either if we have time after this or during the breakout about, what are some ideas and thoughts about making that work. But I need to be aware of time that those flyers around, they should be 2 pages. Did everybody get them?
Yes.
Everybody got a check that I didn't have handouts for everybody. It's been a little crazy in my life lately. So I'm going to go through a freedom technique. Is anybody aware of this or heard of it? Or okay, have you used it?
I use it with my daughter. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Quick and easy way to get to a state of relaxation. So I just love it. But I was introduced to it, and that, what it made me, given moment, I can still have a moment, if not longer, of peace and relaxation. And this technique really, but is it really essential what other people think of you while you're doing it here? I say go for it. Old acupuncture, and you don't need to use needles. So what I like about it is, sometimes just don't work, and you really have to get your body into a state of the parasympathetic that brings you there. I am not an expert. On the sheet, there is a friend of mine. Her name is Bev. She's wonderful. She's over Zoom for anybody who's interested. She's really good at what she does. She also has a special needs child. And so I would say conference, and maybe we can pick a time. But I'll just get you, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. You'll feel something from it. And then if you want to bring it into your life more, you can do it just from the internet and based on these. But if you prefer to do another technique, my feelings aren't hurt. Just do something. So she knows. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap. Okay. And again, it's car. I'll do it in a restaurant. I don't care. I'm like, sometimes I just need to do it. And there are aspects of it that are very common. We don't have to do the whole thing. It's also stuff when you think you can't feel okay, you can get yourself to a point of feeling okay. So I love it. Okay, so let's tap. This is the first area with respond to organs. So if you want to know more about that, check online. So you're going to first, you can just, is very valuable, but the psychological piece is really important too. And the psychological piece is, what is the specific emotion that you're tapping? You can't possibly know what everybody's feeling right now, but I'm going to be very generic. And then if you feel like saying it with me, go ahead. If you feel like saying something else, tap along with me and see what comes up for you. Okay. So I should first say, try to get yourself in touch with anxiety provoking right now, or painful or difficult. Just try to get yourself in touch with that feeling and get a sense about like, where are you on that scale? I'm so freaked out about this, or are you a 0? Like, then pick something else. So pick something you're, and take and go through this exercise with. So in real life, you'll already be upset about something, and then you'll be bringing yourself down. So I'm just having you conjure stuff up, which is a little artificial, but okay. So again, this is going to be kind of generic. The problem is that I am feeling really overwhelmed. I am feeling like sad all the time, anxious, and I want to feel better. So then doing things like mantras like, I deserve to feel better. Some of the stuff we talked about today, it's okay. It's okay to feel better. It's okay to have moments of peace. but the problems are so strong. And through the mind, you start coming up with the problems are so strong and they're so big. How do I let this go? So intense. I can still have moments of peace. Go to the side. I can still feel okay. And then you're going to go down below the eyes. And even though I have all these challenges, I deserve some relaxation in my life. I deserve to have a good life. I'm worth it. I do a lot. And then you're going to go here. And if anybody has like for me, it's peace, just a word. Just start using it, peace. And then you're going to go here, peace. And you're going to start using your mantra. Then you're going to go below the collarbone, relaxation, calm. And then it's sort of a weird thing. You can either do it like this, but you're like the sides. For women, like the bra strap area. Then there's a really weird one that I'm just like below the line right here, because then we like start like, and if you can't tap, you can rub, okay? Because you're still activating the points, okay? And just breathe in through your nose, like as much as you could get in, and then like out gently through your lips, and just let it go. And just do this like 2-3 times. So usually if you have the time for it, you would want to go through it till you get to a level like 2 or 3. And so you might want to go through a 2 to 3 level, go down.
I feel
What's that?
calmer. I do feel a little bit calmer.
Yeah. So if I were to go through this, I'm just trying to demonstrate without taking too much of our. If you were to do it, the first time I did it, I was so worried about like where to tap that I was just like, and am I going to get this right? And there's no wrong answer. I mean, there's no wrong way of doing it. I mean, if you just want to just do one of the things, it can be helpful. But in an ideal world, when you have the time, if you go through this 2 to 3, a 2 or a 3. So today, just keep in mind, you're thinking about where to tap. You're in a group of people.
I was just wondering
Yes.
if you're in the middle of it.
Yes.
I need that.
Okay. A lot of people will say they get something from the wrist. I personally find this part with the psychological, I'm talking about, I know I'm dealing with this. I know this is really difficult. I'm at a red light and I need to do this really, and I do. And just don't judge by like just what it feels like the first time. Because like I said, it took me a while before I felt comfortable with it. And I'm not going to take the time to go get needles. If you're doing that, good for you. But if that's your thing, good for you. But I just found this to be so.
Actually, one more question.
Sure.
So my mother-in-law for the last 3 years trying to get me one of those watches, or trying that has a calm mode and just buzzes on your wrist at certain intervals.
Can you tell us what the name of this watch is?
I was actually going to ask you if I looked at the site.
The watches where they tell you if you're getting like upset and then you're
No.
okay.
No, it's more of a pre-programmed thing. So whatever, but it's these buzzing sensations. Feels still great, very tactile.
I don't
right.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'll look it up and yeah, or reach out to me and I'll check around as well. You know what? I didn't put my pamphlets out. But if you want to reach out to me about anything, just feel free to.
That it would help even if they're not vested in the psychological component.
Yes, because the you're still, if you have a child who yes, if you can get your child to do it or you do it on your child, you're really helpful. And if they learn it, they can bring it with them to school and just find themselves moments of peace they get and we get, the more it's going to be easy to expand upon that, because we start to know, okay, peaceful, and that you can be with all of this. And the more you do this, the quicker you can get there, or whatever your thing is. Like I said, the breathing, the meditation, this just happens to be something I've had a lot of success with, but it'll be easier and easier to get there for longer and longer the more you do it. This is something you can't not do. Like you can't not have time to so just it just gets easier and easier. People do ask me because I've been through a lot lately with my child, And people are asking, and it's like, I've made such an effort to do everything we've talked about today, and that's why I'm okay. So please, take care of yourself.